these two, let's bring them up nice and close so you can get a good look at them. And I'll tell you a few things about the parrot or citizen family. Now the first thing you might notice about them is they do have a very large hooked beak. This is a common characteristic of the citizen or parrot family, and it can be seen quite clearly in these large macaws. But if you look at the smaller species such as the budgies and cockatiels, you'll see they also have this predominant hooked beak. Now in the wild they do use these beaks for a number of different things. They use them to peel the rinds off the fruit that they eat, to crack open large nuts, but they also use it as a third foot when they're climbing around in the canopies of the rainforest. For them to do all of these things, their beaks must be extremely powerful. The largest species of macaw in the world, the hyacinth macaw, loves to eat palm nuts. Now researchers have determined that it does take about 1,500 pounds of pressure per square inch to crack open a palm nut. Now just to put that into perspective for you, when an adult human bites down as hard as it can with their back molars, we can only exert pressures of about 200 pounds. That means these guys do bite down about 8 times harder than we do. Now what that also means is that if Sergeant Doc really wanted to, they could probably do quite a bit of damage to our fingers. Lucky for me and Suzanne, the birds are quite friendly once you do get to know them. Now just to show you how friendly Doc and Sarge can be, they'd much rather use those great big beaks to give out great big kisses. Now that was certainly a lot of educational consideration from me here. If you come down by the table, I do have 4 different colored rings, red, green, blue, and yellow. Doc here has been trained to pick out the yellow rings and to place them up on the post, so you can jump right up on that step. What's your name? Pedro? Do you think that Doc can see these different colors? Probably not. Oh, we have a skeptic on our hands. Well, we'll see if Doc can prove you wrong. Now what I need to do is mix these rings up. She'll be looking for those yellow ones. So you want to try to use the other colors to hide them. They do all have shades. Alright, Pedro here's right to work. Doc's getting a bit anxious. So she'll prove you're happy with that. We're just going to move this in the middle so she doesn't knock all the rings off the table. We'll see what Doc can do. Oh, she knocks the whole thing over. She has that first one, no problem. But what about that second one? And she spots it too. She says, you can't fool me, I certainly can see in color. Well, thank you very much for your help today. You did a great job. Let's have a great big round of applause for our volunteer. Now, it certainly makes sense that these birds can see in color since they are so brightly colored themselves. Now, scientists aren't exactly sure why this is, but there are a few theories. One is that it does help them to identify their flock mates as they fly from treetop to treetop. Also comes in handy when they are looking for a mate, as it is the birds with the most brightly colored feathers are often the healthiest. Well, it looks like Doc did leave quite a big mess on the table. I thought this might happen, so I've gone to get Truffles, our little Goffman's cockatoo, to help me clean it up. These cockatoos are native to Australia. They are the smallest member of the cockatoo family, but you can see what Truffles lacks in size. He certainly makes up for with a great big personality. Looks like you got one more ring, Truffles. Right there. Truffles is just going to chase me around the table first. Showing you guys that cockatoos are known as the clowns of the parrot world. They certainly are always good at entertaining. Now you may notice when our birds do something correctly, we do like to reward them. Normally this reward is a little piece of peanut that I keep in my pocket. But what Truffles here likes even more than peanuts is peanut butter. Now I can't keep that in my pocket, so I've placed a small amount on a spoon. I'm going to pass that to Truffles. And you'll see when he eats it, he likes to hold it up with one foot, and then he removes that peanut butter using his beak and his tongue. As cute as this behavior is, it is completely natural. Though they wouldn't be eating off of cutlery in the wild, they would be holding up large pieces of fruit and nuts. Now what this helps the birds to do is keep their head up and an eye facing the sky to watch out for any of their natural predators, such as birds of prey. So a native of Australia, but not a member of the parrot family. His name is Hyde, and he was hatched here at the safari 5 years ago, and has been flying in our shows ever since. Here he is. This is Hyde, our 5-year-old laughing kookaburra. Now in Australia, these birds are known for their laughing call, which sounds like the laughter of children. It's also known as the bushman's alarm, as it's often heard at dusk and dawn. Now we have been trying to get Hyde here to call in the middle of the show for everyone, but it has been a bit difficult because it is a territorial call. Normally what they do out in the wild is fly to the edge of their territory, give it a nice big laughing call, and wait for their fellow kookaburras to do the same. This allows them to protect the edge of their territory and the next kookaburra's territory. Looks like Hyde's done for the day here. Away he goes. Hyde, our 5-year-old laughing kookaburra. Now the next bird who will be coming out is also not a member of the parrot family, but I'm sure you'll recognize him right away as many of his relatives are running all around the safari. We actually did come across him a little bit by accident. We found his egg abandoned in our shore area, decided to take it in and out-hatched Willie a few weeks later. Here he is. Here comes Willie, our 4-year-old trained peacock. Now, this is actually very exciting for us to get him to fly from that back corner. This is the first day even of the season that he's done that for us. It's taken us about 4 years to get him to where he is. These birds are actually a little bit more difficult to train because they run on instinct as opposed to intelligence as compared to our parrots. We are still very impressed with Willie's progress. Great thing about Willie is that we do know he is a male, known as a peacock. The females of the species are peahens. Now he does have those blue feathers running the length of his neck. The females have more brownish with a slight bit of green. He does also have that train coming in this year. He's about 4 years old. It comes in at 4 or 5 years of age. This is becoming sexually mature. These birds use the train to display to the females during their mating season. Well, away he goes. There goes Willie, our 4-year-old trained peacock.
Now, one question we often get asked.
Off with a nice big hello from Fernando.
Well, as you can tell, Fernando's a pretty cheerful little guy. He's also very polite and has a question to ask. Nice big how are you? I do see quite a few smiles out there, Fernando. Now, Suzanne pointed out that he is a yellow-naped Amazon, but one thing you can't tell by looking at him is that he's also a male. That's because with most species in the parrot family, males and females do look exactly the same. Very typically, we rely on DNA testing for our own birds, but Fernando gave us a really good clue. He always lets us know when he sees a pretty female Amazon. Okay, he's always been quite the flirt. Now, they thought that was funny. What do you think? Cute chuckles out of our comedian. Well, by nature, parrots are very playful, and certainly Fernando here is no exception to that rule. This is his favorite game to play back in the parrot house. Yes, he does enjoy a good tickle every once in a while. Now, he is also known as our master of sound effects and picked up a few living here. The first is a sound we make when we drink a nice cold glass of water on our long, hot safari days. There's a few chug-a-lugs. Now, Fernando can also snort like a pig. Couple rude oinks, but he's not done there. He also barks like a dog. There's those yappy little dog barks. Well, he is obviously a very talented little bird. He is so talented musically, loves to whistle and sing. Now keep in mind when he is whistling, he makes it up as he goes along, so we'll see what he has for our audience today. Well, there you have a lovely Fernando original. Now, it is nice to see you applaud for his whistling, because unfortunately he's not the best singer, and that has a lot to do with us. We're a little bit off key, and he's learned from our bad habits here, so I'll ask everybody to just use your imagination, since this next tune is pretty famous. Okay, we sing slightly better than that, Fernando. Give him a few coughs and a treat, hopefully that'll clear his throat. Sounds a little bit like Go Canada. Let's try that again. Well, poor Fernando sounds just like us. Thank you very much, Fernando.
He's about 8 feet tall. You'll notice Dundee here stands at a mere 1 foot tall. Now, we don't even use a safety net, so this is quite daring of our Dundee. Alright, looks all set. What do you say, Down? You ready to go? Oh.
What's going on?
I think he wants the safety net.
Oh, but we can't. It takes 10 minutes, Dundee. We don't have time.
I guess we'll just skip it?
You know what? Dundee's not going to ride that bike. You guys all want to come back tomorrow. Maybe our first show. You guys can see Dundee ride his bike then. Is that okay?
Sounds like a good idea to me. Yeah. Well, I think the only way to get Dundee up here is up to you guys. I think you're going to have to make a lot of noise for him. So try clapping your hands, stomping your feet. We'll see if that makes sense. Well, looks like it's working out, ladies and gentlemen. Do not try this at home, as he is a trained professional. There goes little parrot pockets and legs, not like as fast as he can. looks like our doggy has safely made it. Well, that certainly was a lot of excitement, and I do think we should keep up the pace. So